You never seen a man so happy to be able to mow on a 25-year-old mower in your whole life. It's his favorite time of the year, even though he has horrible allergies. Don't run over my red hot pokers. And for anybody wanting to, oh look, he's going around. I'm houseweight. Anyone wanting to know, his hat says, "Oh, what a difference a Dave can make." Oh. Hey, you're chopping down my bluebells. Oh, well, they were going to die tomorrow night anyway. I used to have a whole bed of them there. He's so happy. Okay. It's Porch Chat, but it's Porch Chat over David's mowing because he's very happy to be mowing and I'm not about to stop him. So I've been thinking about some things that I thought maybe it might be interesting to share. And it's kind of seen here with my husband mowing and me not about to stop him. My husband is very left hemisphere oriented, which means he likes linear thinking. He likes hearing the words and seeing accomplishments, but he doesn't always link them with emotional satisfaction. He knows this has to be done. He gets it done, marks it off the list, and he goes on. Now, I would feel extreme satisfaction from mowing. The smell, the being able to start the mower without it falling apart because it's like 25 years old, let's be honest. And knowing that it means summer's coming. He just sees a job that needs to be done and he does it. So he's more left hemisphere. I'm more right hemisphere, which is emotional. Now, Elizabeth, why are you telling us this? Because there are certain things you need to know about your brain, especially when it comes to listening to other people and absorbing knowledge. Your left hemisphere is much more sensitive to sound and to words and to overall sensations, auditory sensations, while your right hemisphere is much more accepting of long-term tonal, emotional regards of what you're hearing. So while your left hemisphere may mean that, your auditory is working fine and you hear everything, your right hemisphere means that you can pick someone that you know or someone that you love's voice out of a crowd. Why does that make a difference? Well, in today's society, it makes a difference because we've gone mostly to this kind of social media to where we're not in crowds that we see or know, and also they have the ability to augment voice recognition in any way. If you go up a decibel, down a decibel, or change it any way, it cannot resonate with people in the right hemisphere the way it would if you were in person with them, in public with them, and it's someone you know and you love, and you hear them in real time. So while we may be learning a lot, or we may be absorbing a lot of knowledge and hearing a lot of things, we may not be emotionally understanding the composition of what we're hearing or understanding how it's affecting us emotionally, because that can be altered through this platform. It's just like horse owners that have 10 different horses. They can tell which one whinnies out of the herd from 2 fields away when they yell, "Come on in for breakfast, boys," and they hear them whinny. They can know which one's whinny first and which one's in the lead by the pattern of hoofbeats and all that stuff. That's the right hemisphere, emotionally logging those differences, while the left hemisphere just knows, I heard an animal, they're on their way, it's time to feed the horses. This is very important because that means that over social media or over the internet, the information you get, number one, can be controlled, but the information, hang on, he's so happy to be mowing. So happy to be mowing. The information you get can even if they're giving trying to give you all the information can still be altered because they can change the resonance, the decibel levels. They can change the way that it's emotionally received. These are things you need to be aware of. Just because it's your brain and this is how your brain functions, and this is how your brain was put together for you to have recognition and learn safety voices and understand how to weave emotion into auditory impulses. This can go in so many different ways. The brain is such a magical thing. But if we've learned that much and we've learned how to manipulate the brain in that way, how many other ways have we learned? to manipulate the brain. And what is the next way that they're going to manipulate it that could really be the downfall of man? Have we already seen it? Is it already occurring? I don't know. These are things I think about. This is Porch Chat from a lady with a master's in psychology that is completely discombobulated about how the world's functioning these days. So, yeah. Now you know your left hemisphere, more sensitive to sounds, but your right hemisphere is more sensitive to tones and emotional tonal recognition. So that's why it takes both sides of your brain to work in conjunction to have complete overall understanding of what you hear and how you hear and who it comes from and why you should respond to it. And it's why people that have, aphasia, that's why they can still function, but they function differently than others. You've had a stroke and you lose hearing on one side. This is, why someone after a stroke may be less emotional, because they may have that side, the right hemisphere, damaged and the left hemisphere not, so they can still hear, but they can't emotionally process. These are all reasons we see this in dementia and Alzheimer's patients all the time. It's just understanding how it all hooks together and the puzzle within the brain. But I think the puzzle's already been put together and taken part many, many times, and we just don't know that yet. So, and it's also how we see people and determine if we feel safe with them or not. So imagine if that is one of your safeties in your brain, if that's augmented in any way, how it changes the way that you dwell within society and the way that you either do well or do poorly within society, because you don't have the ability to tonally and emotionally understand if that is a good person or a bad person, because you don't have the emotional recognition of the right hemisphere that most people have, or most people develop over the course of their life. Interesting thoughts. Anyway, Porch Chat, number 1 from a hillbilly. It's going to get cold, so the next Porch Chat may be at the kitchen table, but at least it's pretty today, y'all. So, yeah, start looking at both sides of your brain. Start talking about it. And start looking how this can augment it. You're going to learn a lot. Probably a lot that you don't want to know. Time to think, y'all.